Hello and welcome to some Krastorio 2. My name's Trismegistus, and this series, well, this stream, this series is playthrough of Krastorio 2. I started playing it about a year ago and didn't quite get on with it, but then I've restarted and enjoying it a lot more. All of the wiggly lines appear to be suitably wiggly, so we'll get the game loaded up. Oh, click the wrong thing there. That's better. And I want to do that. And we want to load the game. Cool. So, load game. It's a bit of a Factorio marathon for me this weekend and next weekend. So playing my aesthetic series on Friday and Monday. I've had that going this morning, just chunking away, clearing out the biters, coming up with a plan as well of what these aesthetic bases are supposed to look like. Today Krastorio 2, and then tomorrow we'll be playing playing the Blueprint series. Got an idea what I'm going to work on tomorrow. I did a bit of prep with this, so what have I actually done? Loads, basically, but all of it just sort of fairly boring or fairly standard, because we now have a rail network down south. Why is that not there? Okay. We now have a rail network down south, and it's connected to several oil fields. I debated on how many trains to do, but I've ended up just sort of pumping everything from there over to here and pumping this down to here, and we've got 2 oil fields. So lots of lovely, lovely, lovely oil for this train, which is, I guess it's all sort of waiting now, is it? Oh, it's still got a bit in that carriage. I've done one of my horrible, nonsensical unloading things, so it will eventually empty. But it looks like all the tanks are full. Good. And then we've got a coal here so that we can bring coal in for plastic. I could obviously have hived some off, but decided not to do that, and instead I've got a coal train there, which is not doing anything. Why are you not doing anything? Oh, because the fish is on the wrong way around. Where am I? Why don't I... Will it let me adjust that from here? Can I do that? Will you let me do that? Do I do that? Is that one of the things you let me do? Yes, there we go. Was that all 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, there we go. So some coal. It's not too important because there's this is the leftover coal from the... Oh, well, that's the other thing. The base is gone. The old base is completely taken up. Apart from the oil stuff, I did tweak it a tiny bit. Obviously, we now have a reasonable sort of stack there of whatchamacallits, oil refineries. And we've, but this is the same. It's the plastic, the sulfur, sulfuric acid, and batteries. It's just I've increased it, and I've also put on, a managed. So it's got a logic system that'll, turn heavy into light and light into petroleum and all that sort of stuff. And it's got logic controlling it and all that sort of stuff. The plastic goes up here, along with batteries, and iron and copper come the other way. And the plastic, I've been a bit odd in this, and I've put the plastic onto the bus and then taken it back down again. But I've not done the same with the electronic components. I've just directly fed them. There's a split here. What I should really have done is been consistent, and because this goes all the way up in order to come all the way down, which is just a bit pointless, really. But whatever. So we now have a whole load of red circuits and a whole load of electronic components. They're just, copy and paste additions. say a whole load of gas, whole of oil processing. What else did I do? I added on. We were really getting into power problems, so I moved as part of the base teardown. I moved this over here, and it's a full stack now, and it's obviously controlled with power. Whatchamacallit? An accumulator with like a gauge on it, and then we've got some accumulators here being built. I obviously had to boost up. It's kind of why I did the oil, off screen, because between streams, because we needed obviously lots of batteries to build these, and that's then filled out this power array, which is not ratioed. One of the things we could do today is build the solar template, because I am going to put the solar in this area here. What else did I do? I sort of set up, and I've not quite done all the thing, but I've set up the actual station for unloading rare metals. What we're actually going to do, we're going to use a bridge. So we're going to go across here with the bridging thing, and we'll use this one because you need chlorine in order to mine the rare earths, and you get chlorine from stone. So the idea today is we're going to build a big thing here. I've then also, there isn't, well, I could probably fit, because you can enrich rare earths as well, rare metals as well. So I could have put this in here, but I thought maybe instead we'll process it down here, because I think I don't think we need as much. But that'll then allow us to build the last couple of things, because there's a couple of these recipes now, like the mining drill Mark II, that we should probably start using, but need the rare earths. So yeah, that's the plan basically today. Is we will hook all of this up, do this build here, and do the ore enrichment and smelting, and that'll probably be it for today, and indeed this week for Krastorio. If we have more time, we'll set up the gas, because I'm anticipating putting that in this space here, which is why I've got this stone hooked up here, because we'll need some kind of station to do chlorine, I'm guessing, as well. And if we get that done, which we won't, but if we get that done, we'll move on to the solar field, and or the research. Right, so pick that up. Let's have a look, make sure I've got all of the stuff that I need. Well, they're not bringing me anything, so if I need it, I haven't got it. Yeah, we got the bridge there. Right, so let us. I'm attempting to get, to use the car more, but I've crashed into and destroyed quite a lot of stuff. So hopefully that's a rough recap of what I've been doing. So I've done quite a bit, but none of it I would say is. I sort of left the interesting bit. I think, setting up this bit. Whoops! See, nearly crashed into that. So I'll go over here. Oh, what even the heck was that? Oh, it was a tree. Okay. Now, what you can do, you see. So what it lets you do, this bridges mod, is you can basically build the power poles and the signals in the water, and then you use the actual bridge to be the rail. So it is a bit strange, but I can't walk across it. You see, that's the sort of trick. You obviously can with normal rail, so you have to kind of drive a train across in order to get across that. You can actually lay these to a degree on the land. I don't know if it lets you do them everywhere. Does it? Oh, it does, look. So you can do bridges independent. Now, obviously, I've got the companion drones, but what you would actually intend to do, what you would do, is drive across, with a train and lay it as you go. You can also use a boat, obviously, But yeah, they sort of do it for you, and power poles will just like automatically work across water. So, in a sense, it allows you to cheat in different ways. But I've not run out of. No, there we go. I guess that's too far over, but we'll just drive round. I'm not going to drive a train over there. You know, we'll set this one up later. But say we'll just do that. But say if you didn't have the companion drones, it's up. You know, you might not be able to reach with your regular. You see, I just crash into everything with the car. Oh, I did this little bit of landfill here. I worked out what the problem with landfill was, which was that because it's Factorio, it actually gives you grass as a separate thing. So the one that looks like normal Factorio grass normal Factorio landfill is actually grass, and there's a separate thing for landfill, and you can remotely lay landfill. You know, with oops, turn you off. No, don't attack them. So yeah, so what we can do here is basically go up to the other end, because it was too far even for these, you know. So, oh crikey, let's get out. There's a lot of trees here. So yeah, it was too far even for them. I could test drive it, if you see what I mean. Sort of show the. Why are you not build? Oh, there you go. Show the how it works. Oh, well, I mean, it just works like a train. It's not any different. It's just a way of driving trains across. I don't know. Let's put wood in. I mean, it's very slow, but there you go. You see, you have to be careful about. If I was to exit the train, I would die basically, because you can't walk on this, and it would just dump me in the water. But that's a basic. It's just trains across water basically. And you have 3 types of bridges. It's a little cheaty in that the recipes for building these are actually cheaper than the regular rail. So you could just use these and like save yourself a load, but they don't look quite as good in my opinion on the land. I mean they're okay, but I say they look better across the water. So you can just build them, you know, like that on regular land. So yeah, that's that. It's a good, you know, it's a mod I quite like. It's worth taking a look at if that's something that interests you. Right, so how far up do we want to go? I mean, normally, what you would normally have to do, of course, is landfill all across there, or take the train around the, you know, around the bit that's already land. And so it basically just lets you do nice straight lines. To me, it's a bit more realistic as well, in that, you know, it's like one of those things that the engineer, for some reason, doesn't know how to do, or to research, you know, so they don't know how to dig a hole. In the land, as it were, for some reason. They don't know how to use a spade. But they also don't know how to build a bridge. But they can launch a rocket, you know. It's a bit sort of a bit of a strange idea in a way. Right. It's obviously, I mean, you know, it's blocked for gameplay reasons, but yeah. So if we put that, if I turn you guys off so you don't do anything, what does this look like? So if that was that there, and then we did, say, that many, would that be an appropriate place? Or is that not good? I have to try to remember my car as well. Alright, so if the track was there, is that a good place for it? So we're going to need a bit of room to do some stuff. So, you know, we're going to probably build that on that side and then mine in there, maybe? Let's see setting it up. Because I don't think I'll have enough rail to fill it all out anyway, but we can have a look. So, I'm guessing somewhere I've got... Yeah. So, if this is... Yeah, let's do if I did it horizontal, what would it look like? So it would be... That would be the sort of extreme. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. So maybe if I offset it a bit, we can get 4 half-decent lanes in. Yeah, that'll probably work. So then, those in there. Oh, I didn't hold shift, did I? Okay. So, I mean, basically these need connecting with, because it's rare. Oh, I didn't. How many of them did I? I haven't got many of them. Are they even in my list of requests? They are. So, oh, I'm not building them. So I'll have to hand make a few. I'm not building them because I'm anticipating building the level 2. So yeah, we'll have to do that. But if we sort of correct this a bit, sort of distance-wise. But yeah, they're basically ones where you have to fill in fluid. But the fluid you put in is actually chlorine, which of course is a gas. So we're going to have to make some chlorine. And in this game you somehow make chlorine, or in this mod you make chlorine out of sort of sand somehow. Not quite sure how that works, but... just trying to get rid of any sort of unnecessary miners, basically. Yeah, you know, that would, you know, dry up basically instantly. And then tidy up any power poles that are unnecessary. Okay, so if it was here, we could actually take that there, like that, and then like that, like that. And then we want our 4 balancer. That way around. Like that. And I must have a loader somewhere. I don't think I've blueprinted it, have I? We could do that maybe. Because that's the unloader. Have I blueprinted the loader? Don't think I have. Wait, is that... No, that's the loader. Alright, I obviously haven't I thought I blueprinted the unloader. Oh, well, we'll just use that then. And then this goes here. Like... Wait. It's that one, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. So we can hook that up later, but this is the loading. So what we need to do is work out how we're getting chlorine into these guys. So, what does that look like? Is the question. Interesting, it doesn't show them like that version, you know, before they're actually there. So the ghosts aren't that template, they're the normal template. Interesting. So that would all go. Now, I cannot remember how the chlorine works exactly. Is that it? Electrolysis, there we go. So you use an electrolysis plant to make chlorine and hydrogen, that was it. So we can just vent the hydrogen and then the chlorine goes into these guys. Cool. So what we need to know is how much we actually need. So maybe if I turn you lot back on, in the meantime I can sort of set up a little thing Because I'm guessing it's nothing, you know, it's tiny amounts. But we might as well set it up. In the future, you know, once this patch is gone, we could maybe use this as the source of chlorine, you know, because I'm sure the stone will last a lot longer than the chlorine will. The problem is going to be living mining drills, I think. So, bring all of these together. It's not got any stuff. That'll die quickly. No, it needs to stay. Like that. Cool. I mean, we won't have enough of, you know, anything basically. But we're only just at the other side of the bus. Okay. Put the balancer in. No, wrong one. Where's the balancer? Oh, it's there, but the other one. No. Oh, they are putting in. I thought it just seemed to be sitting there looking at it. But it's basically so this is landfill, not this. And I've been making that. I mean, you can use that as landfill because it's terrain basically. But landfill as in the landfill that you can lay remotely is that one. So I need to change them all over basically to be that one. Because you can then put in this with Factorio, you can put grass on top of it. So that's quite convenient. So we need electrolysis. Well, what we need to do is we need to turn it into sand, which is a crusher. If we build them sort of, let's think. So if that was, say, there, and we just have the stone, you know, coming that way, and sand coming back again, and it's like a one of these one-to-one style replacement-y things. That makes sense. So would it be best to have that like that? And then that's the sand there. So I'm sort of anticipating we're not going to need very much at all. So we'll leave that there ready to go. But my assumption is, you know, a couple of these and, you know, and we'll be sorted sort of thing. Not anticipating it being a huge volume. I did think... Wait, I can't take... Because the loaders don't let you take stuff out, do they? Out of machines, rather. Let's give it a go. So if I put that... Oops, put that there. Can I put a loader? Where's the loader? See, I don't think it lets you take stuff out of machines. Which I think is why I'm not really using them very much, because I know that doesn't work. Right, so this won't be connected, will it? So put one there. I'll just put one, you know, yeah. So eventually this will probably become some sort of chlorine station. Why are you not building that? I'll put my bots on and they'll just pick up the slack for you guys. You don't worry. We'll get that sorted. Right. So I don't need them to do the rail just yet because we're not sort of activating the train lines, but we need the power. Are we ready yet? Oh, it's because it's night time. So we need to connect this as well, obviously. Get that out and get rid of the power pole there. So I don't get why it's doing this thing where it doesn't connect the power poles across the distances. Not quite sure what's going on there. I mean, this is not connected to this for some reason. And that's not connected to that. I don't know, very strange. Okay, so it lets me put the no ingredients. Oh, it's not. It's not connected. That's why. So it puts that in there. Oh, it does let you take them out. Okay. Oh, that is incredibly loud. That's obnoxiously loud. Oops. Huh. For some reason, I didn't think it let you do it. Maybe it's only the crusher? That seems unlikely, doesn't it? Yeah, so if we were having... you know, we'll just make that as long as it needs to be for the, you know, crushers sort of thing. It's not... I'm not anticipating... I mean, I guess I could leave a gap in case I wanted to, you know, overclock it or something. And it does take a load of modules, but... yeah, we'll just do, you know... the machines... So, in fact, let's... So if that was there... And that's that. 1, 2, 3. So that's the 4 machines in theory. We'll just leave a little bit behind to tell me where to put it, rather than actually do the business. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... So if that was that... We put a module there, then we would want the electrolysis plant here. Now, is that directional flow? I find this a bit confusing, I must admit, sometimes there. Because these ones don't allow pass through? I haven't got any anymore, have I? No, because I pulled it all up. So if that was that, I guess it can't allow directional flow, can it? So it actually needs to be further up anyway. So like that. Have I properly lined them up? Yeah. So it's starting the same place. So because we need to get water into them. Which, conveniently, there's a lake here. I'm sure the locals won't mind me draining the lake. They seem generally happy people, so I'm sure that's fine. Right, so then we need... Should we just do another stack? Yeah, so the sand would come down here. I guess... Is it dumb using that one if I'm... Because then I'm crossing it over again, aren't I? Probably be better if it was that one. And that one. Probably doesn't matter really. Because it's one of those where it crosses over either way sort of thing, I would guess. So we'll just put a big power pole there to connect them all together. Oops, I've put that in a slightly different place. I've lined it up with the X, which it turns out is not the middle. X marks the not the middle. Okay, so pipes like so, and we'll just flare this, which maybe that's dumb. I don't know. Maybe we'd be better putting this into a train system. We can always come to it later. It's sort of a, you know, I say I'm kind of anticipating that. Oops, wrong way. That well, if we ever use up all of it, where the heck are the flare stacks then? if we ever use up all the rare earths, we'll turn this into a sort of a chlorine station or something to mine others. So I'm not anticipating using the thing particularly. Where can I get a... There's nowhere for me to put a light. Oh, that's a bit rubbish. Let's just put one on the end then. No lights? What's the world coming to? Right, so that's flaring, and this one needs to come down to... Where would it need to be? I guess give a bit of room. In fact, where can I connect it here? So if it connects there... What does that look like? Oh, that's annoying. Can I undo that? Yeah. So if we connect it there, what does that look like? Or I guess... Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's better. That's better. And then we can put that there. Oh, there's no water, is there? I was wondering why it wasn't doing anything. So let's go and... Let's put that in the middle at least. Come on. Go and say hello to the natives. I'm sure they're totally calm about sucking all the water out of this lake. Right. Pump. Wind turbine. Wind turbine. Power. Water. Super duper. Let's go and make sure I don't forget my car. Go and grab that. Let's park up without crashing into the tree. What are you doing? Oh, you're fixing the car. Right, so there you go. See, it doesn't connect the power lines across for some reason. We have action. We have action. Can I get rid of that one? No. Okay. Right, so what we actually want is for this to be somewhere there, so that we can kind of hook up this one as well. And then I might just do horrible crude, you know. Oh, in fact, I can just pass it through, can't I? So we could put this here. Oh, we could put it there. And it's only really the end ones that need connecting like that. Except not. Why is that not? Does it not do pass through? Missing required fluid. Oh, of course that's not connected anymore. Like that. There we go. That's the badger. Yeah, so we can just connect across these, you see. And then do something like that. And then just there. We obviously don't have enough of them, so how many can I make? I can make 30 odd. Horrible green. Right, so what we kind of need to do, unfortunately it's put in, they've put in all of these and they're not the ones I want them to put in. So these ones, how many are we missing? So it's about 80? Crikey. So we're going to have to go back and get a load of stuff. We'll just leave these here, it's not hurting anybody. But, in fact, why don't I grab... We take that and then just sort of clean up the belt, but we want to use the rate calculator to work out sort of how many we need, basically. Oh. I mean, that might be fine. I don't know. I mean, I could pick these up, couldn't I? Stop it. Messing up the calculation. But yeah, we can't do this until these are laid down, basically. Because it doesn't work with ghosts. I believe. Yeah, so we're going to need a few chlorines, even though, I mean, we've only got, you know, a couple of miners in. So we need more, which is fine. I was anticipating it being fairly significant. Oops. Go that as well. So, if we just sort of copy up this a few times. 2, 3, 4. Got to do the belt. So quite how it's turning sand into chlorine, I'm not sure, but let's not question that bit. Okay, so we could also hook up, not that I've got the belt, but we could hook up this part. And we can set the train schedule up. So, whoops. That. That in. Cool. And there we go, the for some reason unconnected power bars again. Oh. Why did it say 85? We're in. What did I do accidentally with that? Because we're actually now only 28 short. Why is that not? Oh, it looks like there's just not enough. Not enough staff. Not enough staff, Governor. Not enough staff. Yeah, let's head back to the main area. It's just over the way, so it's not a massive journey. We nip down towards the bus. Crash into a couple of rocks, because what are rocks for if not crashing into? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so we'll sort of restock a little bit. And that'll let it sort of chunk through. I need to turn that back on. Because we'll come back and we'll tack on some. Because what else needs rare earth? I think these. Isn't one of these? No? Not that one? I'm not making them. I'm sort of anticipating not really needing a lot of them. But I don't know. There's something else that's important that uses rare earths. I'm sure of it. Because those do. And so we want to get them. And I can upgrade everything then. It doesn't look like anything else uses them then. Maybe it's one of the cards? No, that's chemical. Don't know. I was sure there was something. No, it's not the pumps or anything that I'm not making. Huh, maybe it's just the miners. That's the only one. I'm sure other stuff will need them, but... Right, how are we doing? So we wanted about 30 of these. So if I just make them all, and I'll bring some more stuff. Cool, okay. So they're going to bring a load of rail, which I don't really need. In fact, let's do that. I mean, I don't... Have I even... Oh, it's on there. We'll just keep a stack of bridge. A stack of bridge. A stack of bridge. Good old stack of bridge. Oh, for some reason I've got assembly ones. Okay. First thing we're going to research is request suggests. Oh, well, we can't. They're actually a long way down the power tree. I've actually set it up already. So this, we're gonna head towards request suggest, but it's actually a fair way down the thing, and it involves the first of these. I think they're different because the picture's different. And it says they're made in a research server, so I think that's a slightly different way of doing things. But I say, well, that's more stuff to discover. But say, I want a power armor first because having to use the car is not my preferred way of doing things. How are we doing? So we've got 20 something made. No, best part of 30 made. And have we got the stuff to make more? Oh, we can make 107 more. Right, let's head home. Head back. Over there. Dooby 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 doo. Oh, crikey. Thought I was going to skim round the trees then, but managed to just crash into them. Right, so. Hello, I have brought more mining drills. Let's put them in. Oh, that one's not connected, is it? Okay. Let's get that up to there. Across there. Oh, have I not got squeak through on? Okay. I think this is just like lack of chlorine is, because you can see it's fluctuating in and out of existence. So they're all laid down now. So I think it has to switch over before it'll start counting them. But we'll have a look. Hello there, Grim. You alright? You enjoying this fine and sunny day? What do we need? So, oh, it says we got too many. Huh. Not that I'm complaining, but I wonder why it's fluctuating in and out of thingy then. It's not backing. It could be backing up with the hydrogen, maybe. No, that's pausing because it's not getting stuff. I mean, I could put a tank there just as a sort of a buffer. I have to move it up though. Oops. Rock in the way. Good old rock. Rock in the way. Right. Just a bit of a buffer there. Are they literally using that? It must be an element of. It's got to put stuff in it before it starts counting them. Is that connected? Why are you not doing nothing? So it's still saying there's more than enough. I mean, it's not getting sand, is it, that last one, though? Is that just because I've created a... Yeah, we need to go red belt, I think. Okay. That's fine. Oh, it's not fine, because I haven't got any, have I? But let's go and get some red belt and stuff, then. Did I add that on? I have a feeling that was something I added on. I didn't say earlier. Did I add that on in this save? I'm getting them a bit blurred together, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I've added red belt. It's relatively small product, because I've added it in the aesthetic one as well. Oh. By enjoying this fine and sunny day, you mean staying in a planetarium? Yes, I'm enjoying it very much. I'm doing fine. I'm in a bit of a... Oh, well, I say that. I had a weird feeling all day that I've been missing something. Like, I don't know. It's just some sort of weird paranoia thing in my brain, as it were. But it's feeling like there's some important thing I had to do, and I've completely forgotten, even what it was. But it's left me with a nagging feeling. I think it's just a hangover from this week of work, which has been a bit of a panic. I think I can send that back and forth now, can't I? Yeah, let's give that a go. So, as I was saying, it's just left me with a bit of a... I have something to do, and that something is some work-related stuff. But yeah, very strange sort of... Wait, it's sort of like a... Wait, I've forgotten to... But I haven't forgotten to anything. Right, so, where's that in the list? There it is. Well, now we want you to fill up and empty. Come here, please, and we'll make sure you've got all of your cargoes filtered. So what you're working on in Factorio then, Grim? Oh, I forgot to say, because you said yesterday that you'd finished off all the achievements. So, well done on that. You join a bit of a... Oh, I have filtered it, okay. Bit of a club of only... Well, obviously, people may not have their achievements tracking on, and it sounds like a lot more people play with mods just from the get-go than I'd ever sort of realised, really. But it's only like 1 or 2% of people, I think, according to Steam, have actually finished, 100%ed the game. This feels like it's not connected somehow. 6.4k. So why aren't you doing anything? 5.8k. But no chlorine. That doesn't sound right. Why is that not... Unless it doesn't show it sort of properly. You see, that's got 6k. And that's got 6.1k. And this one's not doing anything. I am confused. Oops. 6.4k. Let's try connecting at the other end or something. I don't understand what's not happening there. Let's do that. Why is that not kicking in? Oh! Oh, does it mean that the entire system has 6.4k? Which is why it's consistent across all of them. Because these aren't colouring in, are they? Right, let's do another one of these. Just why? Oh, well, we know it's not... let's go and let's just go and get some red belt. Swap that out because it's, although it's got the capacity, I don't think it's actually running, you know, properly because it's not getting the sand it needs. So let's just go and nip over and crash everything into everything on the way over. .5% of people completed on Steam. Yeah. Look at me, I can't do homework effects like us. Well, it's not homework. Well, I work from home now. The company's like a work from home company. It's not homework as in extra thing I've got to do. It's just I think it's just a sort of, I had like a task list effectively of, you know, these are all the things I've got to do for work during the week, and I have done them all. I know I've done them all because they're ticked off on, you know, Friday before I did that stream, you know. But it's just ended up leaving like a nagging sense of, you know, what's next on the list, what's next on the list, what's next on the list. And there's nothing on the list, but it's just left that feeling behind, as it were. It's a bit strange. Difficult to explain as well. But yeah, 2.4% of people. So does that mean, I guess that means, you mean the lowest one is 2.4%? Because I guess some people could have technically completed, because it'd be the speedrun ones that are the lowest ones, aren't they, I assume? So they could have technically done that, but none of the others. I mean, they couldn't have done none of the others, because some of them have to pop in order to, you know, when you do the speedrun. But, or does it actually give, you know, the 100% rate, as it were? I mean, it's not an unreasonable assumption that if you've gone for the speedrun one, you're bound to have got the others. Has it brought me all the stuff? Pretty much. Cool, okay. Let's go back again. Oh, I've only got 100. Let's make that 200 just in case. I can always dump it out when we get back. That's the no spoon one, which seems like the hardest, yeah. I'm reworking the rail for my modular 5K base, changing the square block to hexagons so I can avoid the roundabout issue. Hexagon works really well and creates more space for builds. Yeah, I've seen some, you know, videos of people having done hexagon base, and they do look really cool. I assume it's effectively like a sort of a tweaked city block, as it were. See, I'm just terrible at driving the car. I'm trying to reverse closer to the bots. Right, they've brought me them anyway, so let's just go and upgrade this belt. And then we can start processing the rare metals. I keep calling them rare earths, but I don't think that's what they're called, is it? Somebody needs to come and kill all these trees. Right then. Let's have another go. And we want to... I mean, I guess we can upgrade all of it. It's really the... whatchamacallit, isn't it? The... this belt here. So, yellow to yellow. Yellow to red. Cool. Where did that go? So I didn't need to panic, we had enough with 200. There we go. This is now actually getting the sand. So they're all running 100%. This is still maxed out, isn't it? Like they obviously produce that at quite a rate. Okay, so what does it reckon now? What does it reckon now? So it's still saying we're fine. Is actual fluid coming down though? Doesn't feel like we're fine. I'm not feeling like that's working properly. Because these still aren't mining. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I'd rather just get them up and running. And then leave it, you know. I guess these must be probably buffering. You know, filling up their internal buffers. Let's stick another one on. Because we've got plenty of sand. So, one more there, man. Yeah, that's it, exactly. Using my builds from before. Made a hex block that fits it, so it is a fairly easy changeover with minor tweaks. Cool. I mean, we could always put another one of them on as well, couldn't we? Oh. Why did you biddly bob? So I filled my inventory with rubbish, as per. I wonder what those... Weird. Okay. Is it getting water as well? Yep. So it's getting a bit of sand, bit of water. I'm still not really filling up though, so... Nope, they're still not running. That's going up though, isn't it? So... 6.4 before, so 7.1 now. So I'm sure eventually... Is it because they got an internal buffer? Oh, yeah, there is some getting in. There we go. There we go. Super. Super. It's all working. Cool. Is it unloading? Let's just send it back so that there's stuff at the other end. And also make sure it works. I'll point myself at the bus. Sort of it's drift because we can't crash into anything there. He says, crashing into something. Okay, so we got the raw stuff coming through. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. Right. So we want to actually go up. Well, let's do some tweaks here. Clear down the inventory a little bit. A little bit. Oops. Cool. Did I chop that down? I mean, we don't need any rail really at the moment, so we'll get rid of that. Oh, I could get rid of them. Did I? I didn't. So it's this landfill we want, you see, not the old grass as it is now. We can get rid of that as well. Cool. That's a bit more room. Oh no, wait. Yeah, no, it is landfill. Was it? No, I don't know. Hopefully that's the right one. Stations. Now, did the train... Oh, so it's not quite unloaded yet. That's interesting. Oh, I've got a weird double condition there. Full, empty, emptying. Super. And is it flowing all the way down? Not quite there yet, but we are going... Cool. Okay, so we need to head up there and set up some rare earth processing, enrichment rather, which I assume is completely identical to all the other enrichment, but let's take a quick look. So, enriched rare earth, enriched copper, so that's 9325, 910, oh it needs hydrochloric acid. Well, hydrogen chloride, which I assume is meant to be hydrochloric acid. And water. Okay. So instead of sulfuric acid, I wonder why it causes it hydrogen chloride. Because HCl is hydrochloric acid, isn't it? So how do we then make... No, there's no different on that end. So once we've processed it, we don't have to do anything special. It just becomes a 5-to-5 recipe. Now, I'm not anticipating like needing a lot, but we should, I guess, set up a bit of processing, because we kind of ended up in a situation with the bus where I've got kind of nowhere to unload anything else. Oh, how am I finding K2? I'm really enjoying it actually. It's taken a bit of a while. It's sort of, but this is kind of a hallmark of my playthrough, which is why I'm doing the whole blueprint series, where I get to a point where I go, right, let's build a bus, and basically everything just stops until I've built a bus. And particularly in this, I obviously don't know what all the recipes are and stuff, so it's taken even longer. But yeah, I was just sort of saying, we got to a point where we can't really cram anything else in. Excuse me, I've got my blooming... Oh. Right, that's better. The can't really cram anything else in, so I've got plenty of room here, so I can just sort of stick in this rare earth processing or rare metal processing as I need to. But yeah, so you know, I haven't done any science for ages and ages and ages, but you know, when we set it up, it'll sort of kick back in quite quickly, I think, until I hit the roadblock of not knowing what to do with the science. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it actually. Mainly, I have to say, because there's no threat from the biters. I think if they'd been in still, I think I'd probably have got a bit annoyed with it again. Because it was the double whammy, I think, before, of it being different recipes and different stuff, and having to constantly deal with biter attacks. I mean, I hadn't intended to completely render them redundant with the companion drones, but, you know, it is what it is, really. Okay, so... so, we need to do... I don't know how many lanes of rare earth I need. Well, I could build in... Oh, I never upgraded these, did I? Huh. That's what I forgot to do. I should have put these on steel. Oh well. We're not going to do that now, but if I just leave the room, basically, or... Because it is literally just, it doesn't use coke or anything like that. No. Just coal. It's only steel. Yeah, okay. So if I, like, put one in, but then we leave the room for the rest. So if I turn these guys off for a bit. See, the other thing I'm not sure about is whether I'm going to need to expand this. So where do we want to put these? I mean, if I just copy this and we grab, say, 4 of them. Like that. Oh, you see, that fits like perfectly in there, basically. Not quite, but very, very nearly. I mean, I can always move that coal one up. We'll pop this in like that. But then if I say take out those 3, then we'll know they'll fit in. We'll just work it based on one lane. Working out new stuff is always fun. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, it's kind of why we love these types of games, isn't it? I guess. Because it's the sort of... In fact, this is going to have to go quite... Oh! Quite a bit back, I think. So let's just do that. And then if we maybe put that there. Is that going underneath? It is, isn't it? Oh, I see the raws up there. Okay. Okay. So these are going to probably fill the top end of it in. Oh, look at that. The pattern's coming across there. Yeah, so this is like the furthest left, assuming we don't have to expand this, etc. So we want basically this same sort of thing, but with like sulfuric acid. So, in fact, no, I haven't got it as a separate blueprint, have I? So if I just copy and paste one of them, like that, and then we can edit from there. If we put it that way round, we can always expand it downwards. So I've missed a bit there, haven't I? What have I missed? Let's grab, say, all of that. So this is the enrichment part. We're going to need a bit of space, I think, to do belt jiggery bogery. Where's the input for these? Oh, it's there. Okay. It won't let me flip this either. It's got chemical labs in it. If it was... I could put it that way around, but I say it would need flipping. And it won't let me do that. We could just plop it down, take the labs out, flip it. Yeah, I'll have to do that, I think. That's annoying. Okay. So leave a little bit of space. Plop it down. I don't know if it lets you flip those, but we can take these out, you see. I'll have to be very careful with what we connect to what. Can we flip that? Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be here, basically. These probably need to go down a bit because I don't know how I'm going to get... I guess I could just go across the path, couldn't I? Anyway, let's just get it plopped down and worry about the issues later. Okay, so if this is that coming in here, then we're going to want some connections there. Now we need to put the chemical labs in somehow. They would be that way round, I guess. And they're doing that one. And we need to connect hydrochloric acid. Okay. So, if that's like that... Oh, crikey. The gang's arrived. The gang's arrived. The boys. The boys are in. Right. I thought I put squeak through on this. Right, so if that's that, and then I'll do the opposite one of this. Put the recipe on. And... Huh, don't need them, do I? No. Oh, I've got lights and all sorts everywhere. What a mess. No. So we don't need that one, we don't need that one. Okay. Right, let's copy that. Don't know why there's a pipe missing there. Is that an error in the original? Oh, I can't tell. It could have just been a misclick on when I was doing this, but that feels like something that's probably missing. If it is, I can't see anything except that one doesn't have any fluid. Is that just because it's been sucked out? It has, yeah. Can't see anything wrong, but okay. Right, so let's copy that one down. And then okay, I don't think I've got any labs, have I? Let's go and stand in Roboport range of something. Turn that on. Right. Okay. So, how do we make hydrochloric acid while we're waiting for it to do that? In fact, could I connect this up somehow? Just get them to fill everything in. So if this was here, say, because that's connected to that, would that connect to that? Should do. So yeah, they should then... Oh, although that recipe is going to be wrong, isn't it? Oh, I'll just leave it for a minute. But yeah, how do we make well, what he calls hydrogen chloride? It's chlorine and hydrogen. What? So, if you crack water and sand, if you electrolyze water and sand, you get hydrogen and chlorine, and then you stick them back together, and they're hydrochloric acid, or hydrogen chloride. And it's 50-50-50, so you're not losing anything in that recipe. Ah, but that's 20-30. Okay. So it's disproportionate. Okay. Now, as it happens, of course, sand is here. I had not planned that as such, but that is not inconvenient. So, could we just put a sneaky, you know, hydrogen chloride maker here? We would need to crush the sand again. So we need this basically again. Okay. It really is loud, that. Right. I don't know why they're not building anything. Why are you not building anything? Missing the materials for construction. But all the materials for construction are here, aren't they? There's tons of material for construction. What are you moaning about? I guess because it's unpowered, it doesn't count it, maybe? Maybe that's the issue. Right, yes, so, hydrogen chloride. So, we would need to do a bit of crushing, then do a bit of electrolyzing, then do a bit of chemicaling. Where's the chemical plants? Okay. And then do a bit of flare stacking. So that needs to be that one. That needs to be that one. To get that to do the recipe, we need to do a bit of that. So it adopts the recipe. And then we need to look and see... Have you still not filled all this in? Oh, I haven't got my bots on. So this recipe needs changing anyway to these guys. Oops. And then these need their setting changed. That one? But we also need them to be near, I guess. Wait. No, that's right, yeah. So it doesn't block itself up too much. Yeah, so it's these ones I got wrong, basically. It's not grass. It should be landfill. How are we doing? So we got all of them in. Super. So we should be able to rate calculate it now. Diddly Bob. One smelter have no recipes. Okay. One smelter have no recipes. Oh, it means the flare stack. Okay. So we would need more hydrogen. Lots more hydrogen chloride. Okay. So let's start with that one. So it was like 10 more of them, wasn't it? That's loads. So 3, 6, 9. Why am I doing them so haphazard? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Is it like 10 of them? No, another one. Oops. So that's overproducing that, so that's okay. And then we've not got... So we need... I guess we need... 16 of these? Really? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wowzer. Oh. I suppose it is. I'm sort of building this for 4 lanes, but I'm only actually smelting one, so maybe this is a bit daft, but... When has that ever stopped you? Right, so it's still half a chlorine machine down. And it gives you extra hydrogen, which I guess we could now put into the system. I think I'll just flare stack it for now, though. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that, yeah, that's... What? Oh, that is because it counts then, so that's fine. It's a lot of sand, though. Because it's a belt and a half of sand, of stone. And we need 6 of these. There's not even going to be enough room for this, is there? So I think we have to build this over here. So we're down... We need 7 more sand. According to this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't copy and paste the recipe, can I? Whoops. No, because it's just whatever junk it puts in. Okay. So I don't know if you're still there, Grim. But why are you refactoring? Is it just a throughput issue? Because of roundabouts, or? I know you said you've gone for 5k. Is it just not quite working, or? Right. I don't quite understand this one sometimes, because now we're down by half a thing of chlorine. So it's enough of that. According to that, we need 1 more chlorine. Yet more chlorine. Yeah, so now we're over by half. Sand is still okay. We've got the extra hydrogen. That's reducing the thingies. Okay, so numerically that's okay. But wowza, that's a lot bigger than I was expecting. So we can have it. I was anticipating building these gas stuff down here, but as I say, since we're not really going to have any use for this space, we might as well sort of fill it in here. Is kind of what I figure at the moment. So I can't really... I've not got any room to put trains in to do any more smelting there. Roundabouts are blocking up the intersections. Did you go roundabouts for any particular reason? And I said the other day I'm not a fan of them, but that's from experience. That's, you know, having tried to do roundabouts and just ended up like, you know, tearing, well, what little hair I've got, tearing my hair out, you know, because it's it just, I mean, I think they've improved things a lot, but it was just never like a viable way of doing things. It's always just a complete nightmare, basically. Doing trains, doing roundabouts for trains. Because I mean, I don't even like doing crossroads. I try to avoid them at all costs. Sometimes you can't avoid them, but you know, crossroads and roundabouts. But roundabouts, the pain was always signalling them and getting the signalling right, because you can just do an exclusionary, you know, if any train is on that roundabout, you know, nothing else is allowed in. Let's allow double the space for this. So this is like, let's turn these guys off. So that if I ended up doubling it, it would be somewhere there. So the closest we could probably build is there-ish. And then let's just be safe. So that's our sort of closest one of these. I guess we need this over again. How's it best to do? I guess we can do it, you know, like down and yeah, okay, let's do that. So that's like the closest sort of safe place. Oh, I don't want them first, do I? I want, because otherwise I'm putting it back on itself. So I want the chemical plants last. So that's like there. Then we want electrolysizers. So if we imagine that's sort of there, maybe. Like that. And then we want the crushers. Crusher. So, you know, there. Is there going to be enough, like, throughput if we do that? I think we're going to have to do multiple lanes because it's a lot of machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's like a belt and a half's worth. So we probably want, say, three columns to be. Oh, I should have put these ghosts. 3 columns of that. And I guess maybe if we triple column all of them. No, let's do double column of that. And double column of that. Okay. So we need to fit these in. So what does that look like? So that's... It needs... Okay, so it's a 2 in... If we do it that way around then. Like that. Does that work? Oh, hang on. What have I done there? Got that the wrong way around. So we're going to have that there, that there, that there, that there. Oops, that there, oops. That there. Then we got hydrogen connecting on that one. Chlorine connecting on that one. Cool. So that's our one of those. We need outputs. Like that. We need lights. We need camera. We need action. Right, put that out of the way. Okay, so theoretical beacon space, maybe, probably not. Line it up at the bottom. And this recipe is sand and water, giving those two. So it needs a bit more room, doesn't it? So I need to put that on. Like that. Then I need, say, theoretical beacon. Always like a bit of theoretical bacon. And then that recipe like that. You've then got room for those two. Do, 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 do. And we just do a, you know, a dog leg type of system there. So this needs to move over. A fair old way. Just take them out of the way. It sort of happened with my city style base. The hexagon works with all wide sections, so it should be better, I think. With tests we will see. No plan survives contact with the enemy. Right, so this would be... I guess we need red belt now, don't we? I got rid of all red belt like a complete idiot. Right, so grab all of them again. Oops. Okay. Now, it let me load it in with... I don't think it's saving anything if I use... whatchamacallit, is it? Loaders with these. Yeah, so... In fact, why have I even got that on there? So this... like that. And then... I guess we could just do that, I guess. Because there is water right next to us, so... don't have to worry too much about fluid flow and etc. Okay. And now we can just have red belt. Oh, I'm out of range, aren't I? I'm out of range. In fact, let's just finish it off first. Because I can always do one of them. Like that. So that's that coming through there. I did copy and paste that. There it is. So which way around is that? Is that the top? Let's get rid of that one. What's that? That's the... that's the inn. Okay. So say theoretical bacon. Like that. That's like... is that not... yeah. Oh. Exactly. Hopefully an endgame idea is to have a fully easily expandable mega base. Just place blueprints and watch the bots build kind of thing. Okay. So is it... does it actually exist then, the mega base, as it were? Or is it... in other words, have you started the save, as it were? Or are you, you know, doing it in creative first type of thing? Or is it a bit of both? You're sort of working on, you know, designs in parallel. Because obviously it's what I did with mine, and I think it's quite a good way of doing it. But right, so we basically want 3 of these. Is that enough? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right, so how many of everything do we need? We need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 3 3s are 9. Sorted. Then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, might not be able to support that then, but okay. Haven't got power poles on that, have I? Power pole there. Yeah, I need one every time, don't I? So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So actually, if I do that, that's the 18/17 I need. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So 4. What? 8, 12. Okay. Let's turn everybody on. It doesn't exist yet, just a blueprint book at the moment and working prototypes in creative. They are built only using vanilla stuff. I've tested a couple of the builds in vanilla. So far they've worked. Cool. I kind of wish I'd done that with mine. I mean, I say I was designing the actual, you know, like the science builds in creative. But I wish I'd sort of properly worked out everything in creative because, as you know, or maybe you don't know, I can't remember if you were watching then, but the whole outposting idea would have died a lot sooner, or I'd have come to my senses if I'd been working in creative. I think because I don't think I'd have. These all need to be one tile down, don't they? Because that's if I was expanding, I'd have 4. Oh, bummer. Because we'd have 4 lanes there. In fact, no, it doesn't, because basically we're all feeding it into the same one, aren't we? Yeah, because I'm only doing this because it's yellow belt coming in. And red belt should cope. I don't think it's going to, is it? Because it needs how much? We probably need two columns. Wait, why is that not? Oh, hang on. So we need 3,600 sand. What? Okay. Let's just see what happens. But that implied something's gone weird there. I'll just blend them all together at the moment, but I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Right, so grab that. There's a did take your advice on that one when you were finishing up the 5k base. The main piece of math that is breaking my brain at the moment is how many nuke plants can my uranium processing support. Yeah. So you're going full uranium, are there? Because that's the other. I mean, the whole thing was, 12 science, as you know, was just 12 beacon rather was just like the most ridiculous. To stick with it religiously, well, and to try and do everything 12 beacon was just a nonsense. But my old stubbornness kicked in, and I just kept ploughing away. Oh, of course, I'm not, yeah. I didn't pick up the red belt, so nothing's going to happen. Right, let's go and stand in the zone. You're going full nuke. Cool. But yeah, the old 1.4 million solar panels. I'm sort of both proud and ashamed of that. Oh, it's a ridiculous. I mean, particularly because I cheated them in at the end. But it's like that's more solar panels than I think I've made in my entire, 2,000 hours of playing, sort of thing. So yeah, let's say, and it's because it's not really an achievement. I say having cheated about a third of them in. or a quarter probably. But it's still quite a build, you know. One of the things it sort of that was interesting about it, you know, just almost from an academic point of view, was if your ratios are off when you're at that sort of scale, you know, in terms of solar panels to things, because they, you know, you look at, you know, like Factorio cheat sheet and all that sort of stuff. It's, you know, 21 to 25, and so you can get away with 20 to 25, which is fine if you're at normal, sensible, you know, person's not you know, had a meltdown type scale. But if you're building at, you know, mega base scale, you need that ratio to be right, because I actually had a stage where I just had to spam in about 100,000 accumulators to make up for the shortfall, essentially, because I had enough panels but not enough accumulators, and it was just literally that thing that 0.01 of an accumulator, you know, out for the ratio meant when you multiply it by 1,000,000 means you're, you know, well, it wasn't 100,000, but, you know, you're 20,000 short, sort of thing. And it's like, well, that's quite a discrepancy, basically. Right, so according to the rate calculator, oh, that is ridiculously loud. And I get it, but that's a bit silly that they've made it that loud. Oh, did it not? Oh, I only ordered 100. Okay. Can I just hand make a few? Yeah, of course. Been playing with both 8 and 12 beacon. More often than not, about 8 beacons are smaller and require less power, but have more assemblies. Yeah. I still use 12 beacon for some things, I think. If and when I give it another go, just because the sort of space saving is probably, you know, useful for something like steel or something like that. I'd have to test it out. So, and that's what I would do. Like yourself, you know, I'd actually try and test everything before just launching straight into the game and doing it. So this hasn't got anywhere to go, and it doesn't have any water, so we can't test it properly yet. So let's hook it up. So this is the... which is which? So that's the green stuff. The green stuff. Like so. So that's that one there. And that one. No. That one there. Like so. And like so. And then this is the hydrogen. That'll have to be a solid one, won't it? Oh no, I could take it over the top there. I'm sure that won't come back to bite me. And like that. Oh, okay, let's go and hook the water up, which is right over here, nice and close by. Let's hook it up at the top, so we're not doing too much crossing over. Could underground that, couldn't I? Like that. And cheeky. In fact, it's a terrible position for that. We'll just put it a little bit further up. And there. Okay. Like that. Where's me pumps? Where's me pumps? There's me pumps. Have I got any? Yeah, I've got 2. This is something I hadn't realised as well. If you're on like a corner one, You've just hit R, you can flip between which side it's connecting on. I never knew you could do that. There's all sorts of little things in the game that you sort of pick up, you know. Or realise by accident, or, you know. Devs have thought of everything, really. Right. Connect that. Water's coming in. It's not connected, though, is it? No. Okay. So, pipe across there. Let's just do that. They're pretty loud as well. Oh, hello, overclock. Oh, and... Oh, there's a raid coming in. Oh, crikey. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Gentle Mad Scientist, thank you very much for the raid. It's very much appreciated. I have a notification set up, but it's obviously not working. Because I didn't hear that coming in. So, welcome all. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a good session, Gentle Mad Scientist. I assume you're playing either this or a similar sort of game. This being Factorio, obviously. And hello, Overclock. Welcome to the stream. Right. Now, is that just not getting down because everything's buffering, or is it just a pathetic amount of stuff coming through? Are you playing Space Expansion? Or is it Expansion? I always get them mixed up. I can't remember whether it's Exploration or Expansion. It was good. These underground pipes are way longer than vanilla. Is it a K2 thing? Yes, it is, yeah. So, just by default, they're not a special pipe or anything like that. The K2 pipes are significant, about twice as long as undergrounds are, and you know, as regular vanilla Factorio. Yes, so it's a little one of the little extra things it gives you. You do also have. Oh, now are they? You do have different types of pipe. I cannot remember which ones. So I'm pretty sure steel pipes, because these have higher throughput. I'm not really using them because I've not really got the need for the throughput. But you have different types of pipe. I think I've also got. There's like a Krastorio. There's like a list of recommended mods. You know, other mods. And I think one of them is fluid conduit, something like that. And I've got a bunch of them installed. I don't think I've unlocked the technologies. But but yes, so longer underground pipes is one of the sort of benefits it gives you, because I don't know if you've... It sounds like you've not played Krastorio 2 then. This is actually my first time playing through. So I'm discovering it as I go. This is clearly not getting anywhere near where it needs to go, is it? Okay. Or is it? We need a flare stack on it anyway, for the time being. So what I'm trying to do here is make... Well, it calls it hydrogen chloride, but it's hydrochloric acid, unless I'm being very dumb. Because we need that to enrich rare metals, which is what I'm doing over here. If I can work out how to connect it eventually, which is the connection pipe. So it's that one there. Yeah, we're enriching rare metals, which you need for sort of, I guess they're technically mid-tier technologies in this. Is that correct? Ah, no it isn't. What have I done wrong there then? That's connected to that. If I misconnected something here. No, that's hydrochloric acid. That's hydrogen there. So it's this outside one, but it's not letting me connect it. Different fluids. Because I don't think this has flushing, unfortunately. Oh, it does. So if I flush that a couple of times... Seems to think I've connected something wrong there. Oh, well. I say neat. I'm a fervent adept of advanced fluid handling ones. Okay. Can't live without that mod. Which is advanced fluid handling then? I don't think I know that one, to be honest with you. Why is that not... So this is hydrogen chloride there. That's connected to that. Let's try doing it again. No. So there's something connected somewhere. By accident, I would suggest. What's that there? Oh, I know what it is. Is this? Ah! This is set... Yeah, okay. So it's this bit. It's preemptively telling me that the water is not connected to the water, basically. So I won't need to flush that, because there's nothing in it. There we go. Okay. So we need to connect water to this as well. It's amazing. Oh, hello, Pinky. You alright? How are you doing? I'll look it up if I remember. Yeah, so I mean, I should explain really. I'm guessing everyone's gone. Go with a raid. I'm a bit. I'm you know, not the greatest of streamers. I just sort of do this a bit of fun really. But basically, what I'm trying to do with this stream is just play through Krastorio 2 for the first time. I tried it about a year ago, and didn't fully get on with it. It was, you know, I didn't really gel with it, shall we say. And what I've done for this time, because I restarted it like just about 2 months ago or something, I've basically set the biters to passive. So the biters are just, you know, they're there, and I can do the whole, because they have this creep stuff in Krastorio 2, so I can mess about with that. But effectively, you know, they're never going to attack me. They're not. There's no expansion. There's nothing going on with them at all, and it's just let me play through it at a chill sort of speed. So yeah, we've basically got to the point where I'm building a bus. Obviously, I generally go with buses because I find it a best way of, you know, or helps me mentally organise things and, you know, physically organise them in a sensible way. And we've got to the point where we're using enrichment, which is one of the things this game adds, and we've got iron, copper, and where is it? It's over here somewhere. Steel, all being produced. You have to produce coke for steel in this game, which is a slight change. It's not massively different. It's basically just you feed wood and coal into a furnace, and it turns it into coke, basically. And it uses that for the steel, and then there's stone there, which you have all sorts of extra things you do with stone, which is you produce silicon and glass, and obviously stone brick is the usual thing. And the silicon is used in a few recipes. For example, it makes solar panels a bit more realistic in that they require glass and silicon. And then the silicon is used in these advanced circuits. So red circuits have an extra thing. And it's a very gentle mod, and a sort of a recommended first overhaul mod, which is why I've gone for it. And it sort of adds, so for example, a bunch of things need these automation cores, these things here. Inserters need inserter parts, as they're called, and it's just a little extra step in the process for quite a few things, but a heck of a lot of it is vanilla. All of the oil is basically vanilla, so this is my oil processing, and as you can see, it's plastic, you know, made from coal and, you know, petroleum, no different. Sulfur is just petroleum. This is, you know, iron and sulfur, as you'd expect. Batteries are just you know, iron and copper. So a lot of it's the same lube, is just the same. So it's sort of a gentle overhaul, basically. Oh, crikey. I'm okay, thank you. How about you? I'm not too bad. I was just saying, sort of earlier on the stream, I sort of had a bit of a weird day, in that I kept feeling like it's because I've had a really busy week at work, and it's left me with a sensation of sort of, it's like I've got a checklist of things to do, but I haven't. I've not got anything to do, but it feels like I have, because it's just been manic at work. So I've had a bit of a weird one. From that point of view, but yeah, I'm doing okay generally. In the UK, it's a sunny day. It's one of our 5 allotted sunny days for the year, I think. Don't tend to get too many of them. What did you decide on your blueprint handling thing? So I guess the last one you must have seen was the blueprint series. I'm picking that up tomorrow. Specifically, I'm not sure which bit you were referring to. In the end, I have gone sort of, I seem to recall you recommended doing just as many blueprints as was needed, sort of thing. So I have basically gone down that route, but not like massively overboard, if you see what I mean. So there is a bit of sort of manual fiddling about, but basically on that series, the blueprint series, how to explain it? Basically, I've got to the stage where I'm building the bus builds, essentially, and the idea. So I've done the sort of smelting arrays, and like the like the early bases. So the red green science base, the early production materials, the bot base. They're all done and dusted. I haven't tested them properly. That's one thing I do need to do. But now we're into the making science on the bus phase, and it's going to be a base that makes 500 science a minute, basically. Tired of only pipes, tired that 90-degree rotation requires 3 entities and making fluid exit this ground. Ready to solve the Ulick problems. Go ahead and simplify life with AFH. Okay. So, tired that 90-degree rotation takes 3 entities. So does that mean there's a specific entity that is a corner, as it were? Not mad. So it's effectively like a 3-way junction as a single entity, is it? Or does it let you do? Because I'm not sure if you mean that you can do like 45-degree pipes and stuff. That'd be pretty cool if you can do that as a single thing. I wondered if maybe it was a mod where it actually changed the fluid mechanics, because I am not, shall we say, not a fan of the fluid mechanics. Not from... People get a bit paranoid, I think, about performance stuff, and it's not... I've never really had any problem with performance side of it. But the... more from the point of view of... how to put it? As in getting them to work properly, because I never find the behaviour like understandable. It always seems a bit sort of... I mean, it does have its own internal logic, obviously, but it always feels a bit sort of like, well, I don't understand how that actually works. So in theory, we should get some enriched stuff coming out. I can delete all of this now, can't I? Because I know the numbers. The question is just whether the sand is flowing properly. And it's sort of a non-question, because I'm not actually making enough stuff to like bother with it. But Silicon mod that makes it more balanced and realistic. Okay. Afraid of overdoing it. Yeah, I mean, say, I had sort of... I'd been entertaining notions, shall we say, that basically the blueprints would be useful for other people. I've sort of moved away from that, and they're pretty much just for me now. They're now sort of Because what I want to do is have another go at a mega base. You know, like a big Lego. It's probably not 5,000 until I buy a new computer, but I want to have a go at, you know, another one. This is going to be a bit of a mess, isn't it? Maybe I just ignore the path, because, I mean, we're at the stage where it's all sort of upgrading rather than really making the path, I suppose. Let's chuck that there. And then there should be one of them anyway, I think. And then that goes there. Oh, I never changed the recipe. That, no. That one. Yeah, so I've sort of shifted away from... I mean, I might at some point make them available. I mean, there's no way anyone can get them anyway. They could just copy the video, I guess. But not that I want to keep them secret. It's just, say, they're not. I think I've gone away from them being useful for other people in a sense. And I'm just happy that I can get some blueprints. And the idea is that I'll use them to have another go at mega base because, you know, if I've got some starter base blueprints, I won't have to worry too much about, you know, the fact it took me 20 streams or whatever to even get to rocket launch. Why is that all on one side? Because that's not working. Why is that not working? Ah, because there's a extra pipe in there for some reason. Why was that in there? Shouldn't some of these be on here? Huh. I've been on a path, yeah. I'm a rebel like that. No, I mean, I'm not... I've actually got... This isn't meant as a self-promotion thing, but it's like I've got another series running as well called Aesthetic Factorio, where I'm trying to build like attractive things, and part of that is to try and get me into. I tend to be more of a throw a path in and then never actually use it type of a user, player. I don't. Paths tend to be. It's like the old school, when you start where you've just thrown a bit of brick on the floor, basically. It's not a proper path, but I'm trying to learn some things that are a bit more, or develop some things that are a bit more aesthetically pleasing, that look nicer. And so I'm doing a whole series on that. But yeah, the path is sort of, the path was very much added as an afterthought for this. It was because I was running up here so much, so it's not really even a planned out path. It's just sort of where it ended up. But yeah, paths are for building on. So I never asked, gentlemen. So you're playing space exploration, aren't you? So I mean, you're finding it enjoyable? Because it's what I'm sort of intending to do is to do a playthrough of like more of the. Because I have this sort of odd thing where it's not odd, but I've played like thousands of hours of Factorio, and until I started the stream series, I'd never made a mega base, for example. I was just sort of... So what I enjoyed the most in the game is like designing things. And so I would just restart so that I could start designing again, basically. Where the heck am I going to feed this in? I guess if we sort of go over there, then I can feed it in here. What is that line for? Oh, that was in case I needed iron ore for concrete, because I couldn't remember what the recipe was, so we don't want to use that. But yeah, I'm intending to play sort of more of the overhaul mods and give them all a go, or give more of them a go. And space exploration is, or expansion, whatever it's called, is one I'm particularly interested in. So we want to come down on this line, don't we, basically? Where can we fit that in? So if we come across... maybe across there? And it won't get too messy into that gap there. Something like that. SE is great, but be prepared to spend thousands of hours on it. Yeah, so that's the sort of, you know, I guess the flip side in a sense, which is why I sort of want to build up to, because the sort of, you know, other side to essentially playing vanilla over and over again is that I've got a lot of things that it's, how to explain it. There's ways I always build things. And I sort of need to get out of the habit of doing those in a sense, I think, to play some of the overhaul mods and be a bit more, in a sense, open-minded, you know. And get back to the state of, a bit like when you're a new player and you sort of just embrace the spaghetti, you know. And sort of get a bit more into that frame of mind, I think, because... And I've not even really succeeded with this if you really think about it, because I am building pretty much everything. You know, I'm using the new recipes and stuff, but it's still, you know, just a basic bus type of system. Okay, so in theory that'll get us somewhere close. So if I just copy these boys, just to there. No, I misclicked then. Like that. So basically, it's indeed extremely enjoyable. It's objectively the best overhaul mod there is, as per Reddit folk. Yeah, I mean, you know, so it's the one I sort of most want to. First mod K2, then SE, and then lose your whole life to Pyro. At that point, it's masochism. Which is Pyro then? Is that? Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you mean? Because I know there's. Do you mean Pyanodon? Sorry, or? Oh, sorry. Thanks, gentlemen, mad scientist. Have a good night. A good night's rest. Thank you very much for the raid again. That's very, very much appreciated. Hope all goes well with your space exploration playthrough. Right, so let's see if we can actually get this hooked up, and then maybe at some point we'll actually use some of it. Have I put that in the right place? Yes, okay. So we can get rid of that tail end. Connect that over there. Cross to there. Why is nothing... Oh, there it is. It's just yellow belt, so it's slow. Cool. I say, well, in theory, you can do 4 lanes of this, but I have no clue whether that's enough stuff. We did need a flare thing, don't we? Because otherwise it will all back up. Sorry, yeah, I didn't want to... I thought it might be. I thought you might meant Pyanodons, but I didn't know if there was... Because there is actually, like... I don't know what it's called, but there is one where you do a lot of burner... Unless that's just somebody playing that way. But you do, like, loads of, like, burner inserter. Or burner technology, I think. Something like that. So I wasn't sure if you meant that one. But no, I think... I don't know. I mean, I would love to, you know, if someone sort of clue me in. I don't know whether SpaceX is like the best one to go for next, or because I would love to give Bobs and Angels a go, not together, you know, do one of them sort of thing, but I don't know if they're more complicated than space or not really. Yeah, so that's there. So I don't think this is enough throughput for these, is it? It can't possibly be 3,600 sand. How the heck would that work? I suppose that's minute, isn't it? So 60 sand a second is 2 blue belts, isn't it? Yeah, that's nowhere near enough with just a single red coming in. That's what's confused me. It was because it was on minutes, not seconds. Yeah, so it can't actually do it. But then this is only a quarter, but how would I fit that in? I mean, so for one thing, it could be blue belt, because I think I've actually... Oh, I haven't even done that technology. But we would need extra things. I guess we could do something down the side here. So we could bring... Oh no, there's no room for inserters, is there? I'd just have to split it up, I guess. So it's not an issue, it's sort of like... It's massive overkill for one lane of smelting. It's just... If and when I need more lanes of raw stuff, it's not going to cope. Bobs and Angels I played long ago was good, but ended up very repetitive, using a lot of the same setup to different jobs kind of thing. Yeah, so that's my sort of understanding of what it is in a sense. It's what does that belt do in the original? Oh, it's the fuel line. Okay, so we don't need that. What's the time? So it's 5:15. Okay, so. What are we doing? What's going on with the power? Oh, I've got loads of power. Because I've got options of things I need to do. There's the solar build, because the ratio is different in this. It's 0.7 accumulators per panel, which I think is actually a friendlier ratio. But we could build the solar build, but we've got lots of solar headroom. There's the gases, but I don't need any gases for science, do I? So that would just be more delaying tactics, basically, by me. So what we should do is crack back on with science, and then I can get some blooming power armor, and we can unlock logistics. And I can finally get requester chests. Right. Where are the labs? The labs must be in some storage somewhere. Actually, I should see if I can just quickly turn on... Yeah, my understanding of Bobs and Angels is the big thing is like lots of different ways of producing the same stuff. You know, like more... A bit like this has the enrichment, where it, you know, that's more efficient, but you need a whole load of extra steps. Why did the follow alert not produce a monitor thing? That doesn't work. Advanced audio. Where's that gone? Oh, that didn't work. Oh, I'll have to do it afterwards. It's because there's been an update to the... How does a set of headphones need like a sort of piece of software to update it? Why have we got to a stage as a society that that's a thing? Because that's how it is as a streamer, always something. Yeah. I've had it before. It basically like switches off. Did I even request the labs? I did. Right, let's just whack that up and get whatever I've got in stock. I mean, the reason is because it's like, what should we call it? Dolby, surround sound or whatever. But yeah, I don't. Well, I think the reason is just that classic thing of software companies update things literally in order to keep like their existence like in your consciousness, as it were. So if you push an update, it just almost just like reminds the user that you exist, even if you don't really need to do an update. Excuse me. So, have you brought me the labs? You have. Okay. So, to make them, we would need the red, the green, and the blue. All of which I'm pretty sure I can just make straight off. But we will very soon unlock the new things, basically. I wonder if I should switch to substations now. Let's just make it simple. I can always rework it. It's not exactly difficult. Put some lights on. That there. I just want to get this restarted, really. Obviously, what we really want to be doing is like a beacon build sort of thing. But we can just get it cracking. How many did I have? 16? Sounds about right when you can use those more efficient to refine different stuff. Many same materials refine the same setup, different recipes. Yeah, metals. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've been watching or dipping into someone who's sort of been playing it through, and it is a bit sort of like, it's a bit like, in a sense, you upgrade. You go from yellow belt to red belt sort of thing, and in vanilla that's just a simple get the bots to upgrade everything. But in sort of Bob's and or Angels, it's actually a case of switching to a completely different recipe set or introducing a new step, which I think I'm a bit more amenable to. I don't think I would have enjoyed that before, but I think... Is that all my labs? I think that's all my labs, isn't it? Right. How many more can we make? Well, let's just leave it at that and I'll start setting it up. So I'll probably do my sort of standard thing. As I say, I'm sort of relying on a lot of tools that I do normally, which is the reverse lanes on the bus, which is these guys here, basically. So we've got 5 lanes there, and as I've already proven, I'm more than willing to build on the path as well if we need to. So we'll just set this up. We only need 2 of these for the time being. Okay, first off, should I build it in there? We need the blank tech cards, don't we? I've actually almost completely forgotten how we build these. We don't. I've done all of the recipes, I think, that require the basic tech card. So we don't need to bother with that at all. So we're straight into the red ones, which are automation cores and blank tech cards. So we need a production area for blank tech cards because they're also used in that and they're also used in that. Yeah. So we need to make a whole load of blank tech cards. So if we have a little dedicated area here, that is the production of blank tech cards. So we imagine there's like beacon action going on there, theoretically. It would actually need to be there to avoid the roboport. And then I don't think these are anything complicated, are they? They're just like iron and copper cable. So 5 tech cards only requires 2 cable. Okay. So it might be a case of having a bit of a cable build at the bottom. So if we imagine they're fitted into that gap. So our first tech cards are being made there. What's the ratio on them? 2-2 gives us 5. Okay. So this is copper cables. And then... so we can have the actual copper coming up the upside. I've obviously not done the maths yet. I'm using the rate calculator, which has kind of made me lazy, to be honest with you. Oops. I would normally be doing the maths in my head, but why think when somebody's done the thinking for you? Right, so what does that produce? Per second, so that's 30. So that's a red belt's worth. And we only need... oh, that's perfect, isn't it? Hey, fluked that. Is that right? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so what we'll do then... in fact, how much do they produce? They're 12. So I think we need red belt in and red belt out, I think, really, don't we? We'll probably sort of gradually drift... I've done that the wrong way around. Gradually drift towards red belt. I'm not going to do a full-on upgrade, I don't think, because, well, it can get quite painful. Now, we should be able... I mean, I might set it going, you know, between streams, basically. So if we do that, then we can do... if I set that to near, does it put it on that side? Or does that mean put it in that lane? It must be putting it on that side. So by doing that, it should both be on the same side. Fingers crossed. How much copper do they actually need coming in? 6. So we can do yellow belt for that. Look at the mess I've made of that. Right, so this would need to be... I mean, we'll use red, but I say a lot of this is yellow, so it's not actually going to sort of feed it at that rate yet. Why have I got yellow belt there? Why have I even... oh, I don't... did I put in that wrong? I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? It's actually only 4 lanes. Okay. And it's iron we need. So say, we'll sort of do a half-ass thing here. With red and yellow. Okay. Right, copper then. Like so. So this, I mean, this is how I do the majority of my builds, particularly in the early game. Is this 2 machines and the neck, you know, the thing, and it's just, I think it's tidier basically. It's not really any sort of commentary on building in any other way. It's just say I quite like it. How it looks, basically. More than anything else. Why am I just... Why don't I just copy and paste them? Right. Connect the copper up and we should have some circuit blank tech cards. Oh, bum, that's in the... Okay, let's do it over here. Oops. And then a bit of a... We'll do the dog leg after the path, I think. Yeah, let's do it there. That. Cool. And then same arrangement here. Put it in the wrong place. Put it in the wrong place. There we go. So you should make them. I say, do these put on the near side with it set on there? They must do, surely. Yes, there we go. That's another little thing I really like with the Krastorio too. I mean, I don't know if it's common with all of the overhaul mods that they... It seems to be that they give you extra tools and little beneficial things as well as sort of punishing you, you know, by making everything harder. So in theory, we might be able to double that up at some point. Like that. Obviously, we don't really even need what we've got there at the moment. So we might as well, if we just go this way with the blank tech cards, rather than feed them all the way down onto the bus. So maybe if we put them through there. Okay. Next one then. Try and line that up. There, and then so potentially a machine there. What should we make first? Automation, which is just those two. Okay. So this could happily sit there. Okay. But yeah, I do this sort of feeding things up the middle and then feeding them out the middle as well. Oops, other way. So in and out, basically, is what I try and do to at least avoid some chaos. Doesn't always work though. Right. There we go. So these need what? Machine automation course. Okay. Okay. Like that. Like that. Okay. Let's see. So if we took a little nibble of that, sort of. What? Oops. We might lane balance this one actually. I've been avoiding that. It's a bit of a thing I do a bit too much really. Let's have a look. So if I was to do a... That's a bit confusingly close to that one, isn't it? So maybe if we do it here. It's a bit easy to understand. I do like the Mark IV bots in Bobs and Angels. They are Mark III bots with fusion reactors, so they never run out of battery power. Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. And I think I already know this. It has like how do I want to arrange that so that it's sort of fairly tidy? We could do, yeah. So we want automation cores coming up the middle. Yeah? I think. Yeah, but it's got like bonus like higher radar levels, hasn't it? As well, which is one of my personal bugbears of vanilla. So if that was something like that, we need to weave that round. Don't really like that. So instead, how about move this over here? Let's put it there. And then that there. Wrong one. And then that. Yeah. So that goes there. A little dog leg there. This probably needs to be... no, it doesn't. Go straight down there. Take that the other way. Oops. And then this is the first of our... this is the first of our things. Yeah, upgraded radar, also belts and fast inserters. And more. I think this, I mean, this has faster, lots of different inserters and lots of different, whatchamacallit, belt. I don't think it has lots of different inserters though. Not that I've found anyway. It's just a sort of default set. They just have a bit of a different recipe, is my understanding. But, I mean, you've played it through, you can, you can tell me. So that's automation cores eventually. Okay, we'll connect that there. Underground that across to there. Oops, to there. And next is whatever's next. So logistics cards. I mean, I understand all of these phase out eventually. That's my sort of, I think that's what happens, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm obviously not ratioing them yet. We'll do that once we've got them sort of up and running. I've actually got tons of them in storage from when I picked up the belt. So that's picked up the old base. So it's circuits, gear wheels, and blank tech cards. Okay. What ratio is that? 555. Okay. And you get 5 cards. Okay, so it's fairly generous. Excuse me. So if that was the beacon, then we want an outside lane for this one. And that's that there. So we can have one going, oops, one going that way. One going that way. One going that way. One going that way. Okay. So we'll just pop a couple in. Which one have I done first? That one. Okay. That. I'm fully expecting death by barbecue tonight. Not in the sense that I'm going to be eating barbecue, but I live in a section of an estate that is incredibly dense with houses. Like, it's sort of about 20 backyards all like adjoining each other. And any little bit of sun like this, and half of the houses dash out and in an evening. Well, because there's a like a supermarket, a mall, literally just over the road as well. And so they all run out and buy copious amounts of meat, basically. So I'm fully expecting it'll get to about 7 o'clock, and my house will just be full of smoke, basically. Oh, we've made some red ones. We've not made any green ones yet. I put that completely the wrong way around, haven't I? No. What? What have I done there? Hang on. So that needs to be that. Yeah. And then that should be that. What the heck did I do there? Yeah, so we need gear wheels. Oh, I didn't end up putting gear wheels on the bus, did I? Circuits are though. So could do the same as this. A little bit more complicated though. Why don't I just build some gear wheels separately? Yeah. So if that was theoretical bacon. Theoretical bacon. Everyone loves theoretical bacon. So that's the bacon. So maybe if I do it up the middle. No, it's not going to fit, is it? So we'll just offset it vertically, I think, then. So it avoids that. So one there. So this is where we're making gear wheels. Right. Was it? It is iron gear wheels, isn't it? Yeah. Smells like barbecue without actually having had barbecue. So it smells like hell to me. Yeah, it can be a bit much sometimes because it is. It's like continuous all night basically because some people will have their barbecue, late night, and some people or late evening. Some will have it, at normal sort of dinner time, and I do love a barbecue. I'm not and I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. It's just it can be a bit sort of like when it's 11 o'clock at night and people are still making having barbecue, and it's a bit like can you not give it a rest, But say it's not their fault. It's just that when these houses were built, they were just crammed in, with absolutely no space between them. Why have I done that? Because what we want is green circuits coming that way, and then this can go to that. So green circuits there. That's better. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to stick these in and sort of work out the ratios later. Let's just get them running, because I normally stream just for sort of 3 hours on the Saturday and Sunday. So I'd quite like to get science up and running before I end for the day. So this is going to be iron again, isn't it? Might even give military a go. Sure makes me hungry, and I think you're supposed to invite good neighbours. Yeah, I suppose there is that. I mean, I don't know most of them. I say this. It's almost like if you lived in like a block of flats or apartments or something like that. I think that sort of thing basically, where it's people could live like five rows of flat, 5 floors below you, and you don't even know who they are. And some of these houses are on completely different roads, like almost like like an American block or something away. So you wouldn't normally think of them as your neighbours, but their garden backs onto yours. But being also, I mean, being a massive nerd, don't tend to spend a lot of time in my garden, and it's not really a garden; it's just a bit of grass, But I say, I don't exactly sit out sunning myself in my garden because there's Factorio to play, so that would be silly. But yeah, so I don't, I don't even know who they are, type of thing. Right, so we want exactly this. Oh, blowing things in the way again. So if I offset it, where would be a good offset? If we put it like over here, it wants to be about there. And then we can connect that like that. And that like that. And then that like that. Well, the sun's bad for you anyway. That's that's proven, isn't it? So that's science. Right. So you're going to make green circuits for me now? Not what they're called. Green sciencey thingies. Yeah, I mean, you say. I don't know how many of these I actually want to make and stuff, but it's just a case of adding on, increasing belt speed and all that until it works at a reasonable sort of rate. And we could also, we could order up all of these tech cards that I've already got. Oh no, I don't want to. No. I don't want them because there are a lot. So if we just do oh, I can't even order them by a requester chest. I haven't got requester chests, have I? Arrgh. Right. Last one then. And this will start researching. Now this needs sulfuric acid. Did I eventually load all of the fluids? I did, so we do have sulfuric acid. Okay. Right. So. In fact, I could probably just... Oh no, this is a fluid one, isn't it? So we need a bit of a slightly different design. So we've got theoretical bacon there. And then what? So this needs these things. One of which is a fluid. 15 glass. Okay. So glass on its own lane would make sense. And then we can half belt the circuits and tech cards. But everything of that is on the bus. That's sort of what I've been working up to, is having everything there and available. But if I... Yeah, okay, so we need fluids as well. Tricky. So, one of them. I guess I could just go fairly simple. And we could... Because we've got the longer pipes in this, so... We could just have... have them here. And then we don't need to worry about, running into things particularly, because they're just huge, great pipes. Okay, so if that's that, like that, and then we have one on the outside. In fact, can I just copy that from there? Can I copy all of that? No, because I've got a pipe in the middle. So I do that. Why did it not get the power pole? And that. And these need to be blue. We do underground there. Okay. Question is which where... So the glass is quite a heavy demand. So maybe the glass is the outside. Tech cards down the middle again. Along with what? Red circuits. Okay. Circuits of red. Do I just want to do something like this again? Probably. Let's not reinvent the wheel. So one of them with red circuits this time. Okay. Not sure we'll get the power armor research completed by the end of the stream, but we can at least get it started. What I'll probably do between the streams is move this over, basically, because the problem here, as I say, is it's like a volume thing. Eventually we'll get belts that would provide enough stuff anyway, but basically I just need to move this over to there, and then we can have half and half. I should have done that to start with. I don't know why I didn't, but we could, and then it should work, because upgrading your blue belts won't be that heavy, and it should be okay then. Not that we've got blue belts yet, but in fact I'm not even sure. I assume blue belts is the next in the chain still. Right. Okay. So that's red circuit, so we also need glass. We need your glass. There. Is that... Oops. So that there... Ooh! Just fits past the robopole. Where is the glass? It's there. Okay. Go! Glass it is. That thing connects. Oh, no power though. Okay. No. Wait, why no power? Oh, because that's connected. Okay. So if I put one there. Weirdly, we're connecting to the medium power pole. Heavy power pole. That's not got a pipe there. So much happened with the belts. Right, so we should be able to copy all of that. To there. Pop another one of these in. So that should feed glass up there. And so it's that one, isn't it? Like that. In fact, does that not need military? Oh no, it doesn't need military. Okay. Okay. Is last coming? Oh, we're waiting on an underground. Okay. Right, so we need to collect up the sulfuric acid, which is miles away. We might need to go get some pumps, possibly. Yeah. No, let's not put that next to the road that I'm bound to be driving on and crashing into. I won't do a pump for the time being. We probably do need one though. Right, in theory, that's our three key things. that should enable research to start. They are chunking away. Let's see if I can work out if I can find the old tech cards. I bet there must be in this storage up here. This is why I want the power armor, because I could drive this, but I'm such a bad driver in this game that I would crash into everything on the way over, even with... Oh, here we go. So there's the basic ones, they're defunct. We've got a bunch of them. See what I mean? I got stacks and stacks of them. How about we just do that? Put a little chesticle there. Chuck a load of that stuff in. From the bottom end. Like that. Grab all of them? Yeah, got all of them. Now we'll just run up to the labs. And put these in. Where are the labs? A bit further up. Because we've also got, I noticed there's rare earth. I keep calling it rare earth. Rare metals on the bus now, so. Let's just chuck those in the first few. Oops. What did I do there? Right. Chuck those in. Those in. Missed. Those in. Now we can just add these in over here. Like so. And let's go and pick my stuff up. Right. 7%. Lovely. Yeah, not going to finish it, I don't think, before the end of the stream. Maybe it will literally end at the end. Where did I even leave the car? Oh, it's up there. Okay. Right, but that's basically what I was intending to do today. The next job, really, that I sort of skipped over, was setting up some proper, like, gas production. So as in the, you know, these things. So, I mean, I haven't a clue what ammonia is used for, but we should start making it. And I don't even know where we get nitrogen from. In fact, where do we get nitrogen from? That's... Huh, I wonder where nitrogen comes from. Because that didn't really clue me in. Because that needs nitrogen as well, obviously nitric acid. I wonder if... It'll tell me on here. Nitro... Ah, it's atmospheric condensation. Okay. Am I even making any of those? Huh. Got a little area here that makes most of the production machines. What are you? Filtration. Ah, we have. Okay. I mean, atmospheric condenser entirely makes sense for nitrogen, because that's where you get it from. Well, that's where it is. Nitrogen. Okay. So I say I don't know whether ammonia is used in anything, or maybe it's only for, you know, military stuff, which we don't really need to bother with because the vitals are switched off. But I'm sure we'll probably need a few military technologies, or I might just want to, you know, play with them. So we should set up that. But the key thing with that is these biter research data. Oh, it needs coke. Okay. Which is the biomass. And as I understand it, there is a way... There's a machine that produces biomass. Might be the advanced lab. And I don't think I've unlocked that. Have I unlocked the lab? Advanced lab, rather? No, I don't think I've got advanced labs yet. But yeah, there's like a way of making biomass. But I've got like, well, I don't know if it's thousands, but I've got loads of stuff from the creep. There we go. Yeah, 4.6 thousand bits of biomass. So we wouldn't need to bother with that straight away anyway. But next week, I guess now, we will pick up. Basically here, as I say, I will move these over. FNEI, yeah, I keep forgetting to use that. I don't actually like it very much, if I'm totally honest. I don't find it a very well laid out thing. There you go. So that is atmospheric condensation. But yeah. I gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, thanks for joining me, Grim, again. Good to see you again. I say, this will be back next week. So the plan, basically, is that... Let's bring up my schedule. There we go. There. So basically, I stream every weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. At the moment, for this weekend and next weekend, it is Factorio all the time. I'm running 3 series of sets of streams. The Fridays and the Monday, so yesterday's stream and Monday, is a series I'm calling Aesthetic Factorio, where I'm attempting to build some attractive bases. Quite what that means, I have not fully decided. But at the moment, it basically involves a heck of a lot of biter clearance. But yeah, we get in there. And today's stream, so Saturday was Krastorio 2, and that will return next Saturday as well. Tomorrow is my stream where I am building myself a set of blueprints. So rather weirdly, in fact, I might just be able to flip back and sort of show you. So for someone who's got so much time in the game, I've not really built myself some blueprints before, as in a standard set of blueprints, because designing is something I really enjoy in the game, and I generally just redesign my blueprints every time I play. But I did a series on a mega base. These are the archived ones, basically, where I tried to build a mega base, and basically it took me ages to even launch a rocket, which I wouldn't normally be bothered about, but it meant that the mega base bit didn't start until I was always... Oh, so you'll be pleased to know power armor has just finished. I was a long way into the playing it before I even started the mega base. So the idea really secretly is that I'll have a set of blueprints that will let me get through to launching a rocket pretty quickly. By my terms, I'm not the quickest of players, but that's what the stream tomorrow is, where I'm basically trying to build myself some blueprints that it's basically like a early science base, a basic production, simple machines, a military stuff, a bot base, then the templates for building a bus that does 500 regular science, and then extensions to that bus that let you launch a rocket and run science at about 500 a minute. So not about sort of half a mega base in a bus. And then I'll probably do another series where I then play those through and then try and do a mega base and sort of set, save all the blueprints from that as well. But so that'll be my second attempt at doing one of those. Yeah, so if you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio, and it's going to be Factorio tomorrow and the day after and next week as well. Thanks for watching. Cheers.